We can all make rookie errors with our training and racing, even if we're not rookies. So it's not just reserved for beginners. And we want to save you time. We want to help your running by avoiding setbacks that many runners experience, and we want to make you fall in love with the process of running the right way. And so quite simply, it's what we're going to do this week.
So we sat down and we wrote a list of 8 ways in which we think people can train like beginners. And by the way, none of this is a negative thing. It just means, we have the benefit of learning down the line and definitely have made some of these mistakes. But the added bonus is we're also going to take you through our week of training for Tokyo Marathon, recovery week, and it starts... See these bad boys? I barely ever swim anymore as a triathlete, but we're going swimming. I'm going to take you to the beach. Mary's out for a run. Okay. Okay, beach time means swim time. Sorry, this is bed hair, and I've got to take my t-shirt off as well. Right, you can't see the dog down here just getting excited about going to the beach. One thing I see, probably actually the biggest thing I see that beginner runners do is they take setbacks as an indication that maybe running's not for them. And when I talk about setbacks, I mean injury, I mean not running a particular pace that they thought they could run, I mean not even being able to finish a particular session. Just, any type of setback just means maybe running's not for me, maybe I shouldn't do it. And that, obviously that's crazy. Let's take injuries for a start, because why do you think I'm going in here? Unfortunately, part of the process of training, especially when you're pushing yourself hard, really hard, is that you might get injured. And I think sometimes in the early days when people start training, they see that injury as an indicator of they've done it completely wrong. And that, of course, that's not the case. I don't think I trained incorrectly. What I did was I just pushed my body to the line where it was, and maybe I pushed it over. So now, just for a couple of weeks, camera in the face, shadow, I'm swimming. Right, I'm handing the dog over to Mary now. You have duties of this one. I go in there. Here's the one thing I've learned is being injured, not being able to run, it doesn't have to be devastating. I mean, that's pretty not devastating. One second. Actually, it reminds me, I was talking to someone who, they tried to take up running a number of times, and they said to me, when does it get easier? Because that's what I'm looking for. And I remember saying to them, you get faster, it doesn't necessarily get easier. Maybe it gets easier to get out, but I think the fact that the person was going out and they were running day after day, and it kind of was uncomfortable every time, was an indication to them that they're not making progress and maybe it's not for them. And the message I tried to tell them was, and I'm trying to tell you, is that running is messy. There's no linear progress. You don't go out and you just naturally get better. There's ups, there's downs, there's injuries, right now. There's times when we have really bad races, and there's times when we have really amazing races, and the same with training sessions. And if you embrace running as a messy process that it doesn't get easy, it might get easier, then I think you're much more likely to stay in the game for the long term than if you just expect that your progress is just going to go bang, because it's just not like that.
Okay, one problem beginner runners, but not only beginner runners, can have is lacking structure to training. If you're a beginner runner, especially if you're loving the journey, you might just think that more is better. Running regularly, running more, week by week, stacking that up. And the problem is, that's a one-way ticket to injury, burnout, or falling out of the consistency that we all know we need in running. Okay, so if you're lacking structure, just running as you go, a bit of a scattergun approach, what you'll be missing out on is purpose and intentionality to your training, and really importantly, time to recover. I'm in my recovery week right now, and I'm so thankful that I am. I'm so tired. I need to take a lighter week to be able to get back to it and get the most out of my training next week. So in our plans, and what we follow is 3 weeks on, with a focus and intention, whether it's speed, building aerobic base, building mileage, and then a 1 week recovery week. Structuring your training in this way is called periodization, and it really helps you to get the most out of your training and out of yourself. And for me, I know exactly what my structure looks like for the next year, because I've got marathons all the way until next November, so I know when my recovery weeks are, what I'll be doing in the week of my birthday next August and stuff like that. And it's not sucking the joy out of running, it's actually giving it purpose and giving you the breaks you need to keep going. Okay, made it to the beach. Here he is, going for his swim, and I'm going to take over this. Nice. Hopefully you bought me a drink.
I've bought the dog a drink, but it's the water we drink also. Does that work?
I almost feel like this point is quite counterintuitive, but go with me on it, and that is that a lot of beginners can, strangely, they can take this process too seriously. You can very quickly get bogged down in the metrics, you can get bogged down in what you look like, and ultimately running is one of those sports where if you've got a pair of trainers, you can just put them on your feet and you can go out of the door, and that's what we all have to remember during this process. And if I take Mary as a really great example, in the early days of her restarting her running journey, we look back now and we do chuckle because she didn't really care about the kit that she was wearing, in the sense of it was functional, it did a job. Obviously, if you know Mary, you watch the channel enough, you know that Mary likes to match and look nice. So over time that evolved, but it wasn't an immediate thing. It wasn't like buying amazing stuff pinned her in as a runner. It wasn't like the be all and end all. Over time, actually, what we found is buying nice gear every now and then, if you can afford it, it really does help. But the point is ultimately that you don't have to have it. And it's the same with the metrics, is you can get a nice watch, you can learn about different types of sessions, you can see your paces, but the more you start to really worry about how fast am I running, how far am I running, what was my heart rate during that session, the more it can be a little demotivating and maybe disheartening, and some people don't like that either. Really what I'm trying to say is pick up some trainers, get out there, run, reattach for the joy, make sure that you're in it for the right reasons and you'll be in it for the long term, because ultimately our priority when we run genuinely is, do we love this? Like, do we love it? Not all runs, obviously, you've heard about the rule of thirds, but the majority of runs, we do it because we absolutely love it. Times will come and go, running distances will come and go, outfits, definitely for Mary, will come and go, but the joy should be the long-term thing. And if we don't take it too seriously and we see it as that, then we'll be running forever, and that's what we hope to be.
This one is a complex one, no doubt, but it does need to be discussed, and that is delaying participating in races. We see it all the time with newer runners. Sometimes it's fear of so many people in one place, sometimes fear you're not ready, or that the race makes you a real runner. All of those reasons are valid, but racing, or should I say attending races, can mean so much more. Ever heard of the saying, your vibe attracts your tribe? Well, at events everywhere, your tribe is turning up to enjoy an experience. Some do it for the views, some do it for charities, some to be with friends, and some just to see how fast or how far they can go. There isn't a right or a wrong reason for going to an event. Our genuine reason for doing them is to build memories for ourselves, to travel and compete. And I know going to events isn't for everyone, I'm not saying that, but if you are undecided, maybe just start with a park run if they have them near you, or a smaller race, more informal. No one's going to judge you. The energy in the environment is infectious and it inspires you to do more. You see all ages, shapes and abilities and you realise, yeah, I am a runner, and it's great.
Okay, this is a big one. A big problem many beginner runners have is that they don't identify as a runner, and that can really hold you back. It could be that you think you've got to wait for something to happen, like achieving a certain time or a distance, like being a 10k runner or half marathon, but if you're getting up, if you're getting out in trainers and you're running, you are a runner. And when you identify as a runner, you start making decisions as a runner. I've met so many people and I'm like, oh, do you run? And they say, well, I just do a few 5Ks. That's okay, you're a runner. It's like they're waiting for something to confirm that they're officially a runner, whether it's a time achieved or a distance, like being at 10K or half marathon. Once you start believing in yourself as a runner, you're going to start to make decisions as a runner, decisions that are going to help you to stay consistent and get the most out of your training. Decisions like, I'm going to choose a non-alcoholic beer because I want to feel good on my run in the morning, or I'm not going to ignore this tightness, I'm going to do some work to prevent injury because I want to, and I need to stay in the game because I'm a runner. Identifying as a runner is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself and your running journey. It will encourage you to do all the things to keep you running for as long as you possibly can, which is ultimately what we're all aiming for, right?
My opinion is that you can't just plonk running into your life and expect it to be okay and expect to be able to do it for the long term. It's so much more intricate, nuanced, complicated than that if you want to stay in it long term. Now, obviously, running should be generally, as the form of running, simple. You should be able to put your shoes on and you should be able to go out. But to be able to then continue to run, you've got to start looking at all of the other things around running. You can't just like grab running and go, right, I'll just drop that into my life as is. What if you're someone that doesn't necessarily already get enough sleep? Add running into the mix, you need to recover, and you're not gonna recover if you don't get enough sleep in the night. What if you're someone that doesn't go to the gym at all and you plonk running in there? Well, over time, your body's gonna need to be stronger in order to take the volumes that you're putting through the legs. So strength training, again, like really important. You've got to think, even if it's just a home routine or something, you've got to add that to supplement the running. Our whole aim is run long term for lifetime. That's like our motto almost. And so all of the other things we do, as much as they're not as much fun as running, you know, strength and conditioning is not really, let's be honest, but it's the stuff that allows us to do the running. Even cross training, you know, some people's legs can do more than others. My legs can't do as much as Mary's, and so I cross train a lot. I swim, you've seen that this week. I cycle, you've seen that this week. I make sure that I'm doing other things other than running so that I can continue to run. I foam roll. I have massages, I have treatments, I have the massage gun, I have the works because I believe in the recovery as well as just the running. And I think beginners, and by the way, not just beginners, they tend to just want to grab running and go, that'll do. And if you want to do this for life, again, then you're going to need to do more than just running. But it doesn't have to be super complicated, just little and often. That's how we've made it work in our lives.
I think that one thing I could have done with learning earlier in my running journey is the importance of variety in my sessions. I often stuck to the same course and the same session style, which was, and let me know in the comments if this was you as well, it was an easy run where I didn't run easy. Once I started learning about energy systems and how you can work them all differently with different sessions, I started to make so much more progress. I did tempo runs, which are more about feel and heart rate. I did fartlek, which is basically the Swedish word for speed play. I did marathon-paced sessions, hill reps, lactate threshold work, long runs on the road. I did long runs off-road. I basically started training my body and mind in a variety of ways to keep the body guessing, and also be more intentional and specific with what I was doing. We keep it pretty simple nowadays. During marathon cycles, there's a bunch of easy mileage, including the long run. There's a threshold session on a Tuesday, and then a tempo or a marathon pace session on a Thursday, depending where we are in the cycle. It's how we're training for Tokyo right now as well. It's simple, it's effective, and we love it that way. There are no more easy runs that aren't actually easy in sight.
Right, hilariously, it is making this video that has prompted me to now get on and do a single leg workout, because we were supposed to do our strength workout yesterday, and then that didn't happen because we were busy making the video and doing other training, and now we've got to Thursday. Mary's done a 6 kilometer run. I've swum this morning, but we keep almost putting off the strength and conditioning. I said to Mary, no, for the last point in this video, I want to do it around the strength and conditioning to make sure that we do it, because we've made that in a different point. Mary should be coming down these stairs at any moment now, and the final point that I'm going to make is that I think beginner runners generally don't zoom out far enough, and I don't think that is just restricted to beginner runners. Oh look, here she is.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, what do I mean by zoom out? I guess what I really mean is that people can tend to look into the micro of training, as in, if you miss a session, it's the be all and end all, it's the end of the world. That session will make or break you. And first of all, we know that's not the case. Okay, reverse lunges now. Come in this way a little bit. I mean, there's literally a saying, don't sweat the small stuff. So is one missed session a big deal?
No.
Okay, good, that's all I needed from you there. Okay, let's go back, reverse lunges. So it's actually a bit bigger than that though for me, is the main thing that I see when people that are newer to running that I take on in coaching is that they want to see progress really, really quickly. And you can, to a certain extent, you can feel a bit stronger, you can run a bit further, you can run a bit faster, but... Change. I think, to be honest with you, progress shouldn't be measured in days or weeks or really even months. I think if you want to see true lasting progress that lasts a lifetime, it's years. Let's take Mary's journey as a really perfect example. Busts onto the scene with a 10k win in her first ever race, then follows it up with a 3:36 marathon in her first ever marathon, even though she fell apart. And then there was a couple of years where you might be forgiven for thinking there was no progress made. No more marathon PBs, no more 10k PBs. Oh, and go this way. What was their PBs? You went to half marathons and you did some of those, yeah?
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I got a half marathon PB, and that kind of got the ball rolling.
This is so weird way of filming. But this was over 2 to 3 years, and Mary could have given up if she thought that her progress was measured over that smaller time span. But here she is now, look, having run a 3:04 marathon, having run a sub 1:30 half marathon, many years down the line, and you could have given up. Do you even worry now about one day missed training?
A little bit, but I know if I need to, it's fine.
You're kind to yourself if it happens.
I am actually.
And that's the message, is be a bit kinder to yourself,
Yeah.
Zoom out. Probably best to watch this video here, and that'll help you a little bit more, or watch this one and you'll very much enjoy Mary's Shanghai 3:04, and subscribe because we've got massive plans in 2020. I nearly said 2024, 2026.
Have we?
Yeah.